this is Dave with Aqualife Ponds. What I wanted to talk to you about today are pond leaks, which are a total bummer. So, let's say you're eating dinner and all of a sudden you hear this gurgling sound. It might not sound like that. I don't think I can emulate the gurgling sound, but you're like, what the heck is that? And you go outside and you see your pond levels low and you panic because it's kind of a panicky situation and you don't know what's going on. Well, first of all, it's really good to have in your arsenal of pond stuff an aerator. So tomorrow, don't procrastinate on this. Go to your local pond shop and get an aerator with aerating stones. Don't go to PetSmart and get a little tiny one, but go get something big enough for your pond, because if you have to shut the pump off in summertime, you've got big koi, that could be a problem because there's not as much saturated oxygen in warm water as there is in cold water in wintertime. You're probably okay. Now we're in Southern California, so we don't have to worry about icing over unless you're up in the mountains. And if your pond is iced over, you just need to make sure there's a hole in the ice for gas exchange. But so, going back to the leak, we need to determine where the leak is. A lot of times it's just a low edge in the waterfall, and actually most leaks are happening in the waterfall. What we do is we tell you to do a leak test. What that is shut your pond off overnight and see if the pond continues to drop. If it does not, well, first you got to fill it up to the normal level. If it does not, it means it's in the waterfall somewhere. And actually the majority of the time it is in the waterfall. It's logical to think that it's in the plumbing somewhere, but it's actually very rarely the plumbing. Most of the time it's in the waterfall, and sometimes it is in the pond. Now, if it's a concrete pond, it's more common that it could be in the pond versus a liner pond, because liner ponds usually don't suddenly get a hole in the pond. If you're using 45 mil EPDM flexible liner, those are warranted for 20 years. They'll last a very, very long time. So holes usually just don't occur in flexible rubber liner. Concrete ponds, earth shifts, you can get cracks, and that can happen. Regardless, leaks usually occur in the waterfall, but not always. So what happens is you give us a call, we tell you to do the leak test, but make sure that the water is aerated. So you're going to put your pond aerator to use. It's an air pump connected to hoses, to air stones, down into the water. And you're going to make sure that the water is up to the level that it's supposed to be up to. And you're going to shut the pump off and see what happens. Most of the time, the pond doesn't drop, which is a good thing because leaks in the waterfall are a lot easier. And a lot of times it's a very simple thing to fix. So, also, the thing to consider with pond leaks is make sure if you have an autofill to turn that off, because you don't want to over-chlorinate the system, and that can kill all your fish. So it's very important to turn the autofill off because it could just constantly be just putting chlorinated water into your pond. Now, the best thing to do is just call us right away.